do we
quarantine
when our house is on fire? How do we isolate from the impact of climate change when floods have taken over our houses or drought have taken over our farmland? This is the time for us to act. Since 1960s, the destruction of climate change crisis has begun, despite several warnings and predictions from climate scientists. And during this period was when the Great Lake Chad began to strike. And one of those threats that we are seeing in Nigeria, the unprecedented crisis, is the mass adoption. Nigeria hosts the largest displaced people in the Lake Chad region. And this is making our border porous and leading to armed conflict, because in the sub-Sahara region, climate change is leading to armed conflict, and armed conflict is causing environmental destructions. And as climate vulnerability increases, it strengthens armed groups to gain territory.
Thousand people here from communities that have been displaced by bandits and Boko Haram elements around Munya and Shiro local governments. However, some of them have started going back to their various homes, and there are some other communities that we think are safe, they can go back. But the vast majority of them will have to remain here because their villages, their towns have been taken over by bandits and Boko Haram elements. Their wives have been seized from them. Their wives have been forcefully attached to Boko Haram members elements. In fact, I just heard they've already placed their flag in Kauri, so which means they've taken over the territory.
And this is why we have to act now, because climate change is now beyond environmental issue. It is now a social, cultural, health, and different kind of issue that we are seeing. Even the slightest route of migration is now leading to new conflicts. And also, climate change is in itself is a pandemic that the world needs to act on now. We are seeing this in the closure of school and business activities. And in extreme weather events such as heat wave, drought, the increase in childbirth, we are seeing it affecting children, elderly people, and those with underlying illness, from an increasing mortality rate.
Died in an unprecedented heat wave. Police say they've responded to almost 70 sudden deaths since Monday. Most of those who died were elderly. It has been extremely hot, temperatures very challenging. A new all-time record of 49.5 degrees Celsius, that's just over 121 Fahrenheit, was set on Tuesday. In the US as well, it's been hot in the Pacific Northwest, dangerous heat levels there. This is Portland, Oregon at 46.1 Celsius and more than 42 Celsius.
Deaths accrued to climate change have increased greatly more than any other crisis. And even this year, there was a record of the largest eyeball of A76. This is a sign that we need to act now, because for every tons of ice that melts, increases 0.5 degrees of warming to temperature. So if we don't act now, we wait for 2050 or 2030, some changes might become irreversible. So the cost of action now is far greater or positively impactful than the cost of us waiting for 2050 to act. Thank you.